Hey guys, Noel here, and it is Tuesday night, Cinco de Mayo, and I am chilling with a cold beverage and a warning for wrestling fans and the WWE. Despite the fact that I'm an AEW fan wearing a Kenny Omega shirt, I am a big fan of the WWE and all forms of pro wrestling. So here is the lowdown. This video is going to be about how someone has hacked, apparently, the Big Show's Instagram account and tried to recruit me to the WWE Performance Center. Now, before you all start breaking down in hysterical laughter, I do have some combat training. Am a member of the local mixed martial arts gym, Disorderly Conduct, who are affiliated with Rodolfo Barcelos, who is a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and has competed for Bellator. I'm a blue belt, and I've been boxing for a year and a half. I only train. I've never had any amateur matches or done any indie wrestling, but I do love my brothers at the gym and my coach. And since quarantine is happening, I've been doing Skype training with Rodolfo in Brazil. Which is great. So I've got that kind of as part of who I am, and I'm a huge pro wrestling fan, and I'm a huge fan of 80s sitcoms. And I'm just going to tell the whole story of how a Russian hacker got access to the Big Show's official Instagram page and tried to recruit me to the WWE Performance Center. And I just want this to be known because while this process was going on with me, I tried to search for similar things like this happening online, and I couldn't find anything. And there were certain things that this person, seemed to know, but then there were other things that were clear red flags that let me know that this was, pardon the expression, bullshit. So WWE, if you're watching Big Show, if you're watching, I want you to know, if you are an aspiring professional wrestler, beware of this kind of situation. And if I'm by some miracle wrong about what I'm saying, and the Big Show actually was trying to recruit me to the WWE, then that's just a fun story anyway. It's just great to be able to say to people, it's like, hey, the Big Show, I told him off. So here's the story. We'll see how long this takes. I'm a bit of a rambler, but just let it be known. The short version of this is, someone hacked the Big Show's official Instagram account, tried to recruit me to the WWE Performance Center, and I ultimately kind of told them where to go in a comedic way. So, without further ado, here's the story. So, I'm going to actually take my NWO hat off because it's fairly hot and I'm hot-blooded. Okay, Italian, let's go. All right, so I am a big pro wrestling fan, so I follow lots of pro wrestlers on Instagram. I'm not really on Twitter, but I do kind of check on wrestlers' Twitters every once in a while, and I'm on Instagram all the time. So I follow the Big Show on Instagram, and again, as I said earlier, I'm a big fan of 1980s style sitcoms. So the Big Show has, and I'm a huge WCW fan, so I know the Big Show as the Giant. The son of Andre the Giant in the Dungeon of Doom, who busts through the walls of the Dungeon of Doom like a Kool-Aid man and started choking Hulk Hogan when Hulk Hogan was lured to the Dungeon of Doom looking for hot water and Hulkamaniacs. Look up that skit. It's fantastic. But anyway, so I'm a huge fan of The Giant, huge fan of WCW. I liked his work as the Big Show in WWF. So I follow him on Instagram. Huge fan of 80s sitcoms. He's got a family sitcom, which is a sadly an increasingly rare genre on Netflix. And my big problem with the WWE, and I mean this in all respect to everyone at the WWE, if someone from the WWE is watching this, I don't mean any disrespect. This is just an honest fan's opinion. I think the product is overpackaged, overproduced, bland, and does not take a firm stand on a narrative style. Like, if you're asking me, if you want to do the family-friendly thing, do the crazy 1980s, mid-90s WCW comic book cartoon wrestling, and I love that style. Like, just freaking do it, man. If you're going to go for it, just freaking go for it. And that's not to say you can't have edgy characters within that formula, but that's got to be the clear narrative tone of your show. Or if you want to do the gritty, turn of the millennium style wrestling, with the NWO and all that good stuff, then freaking do it. If you want girls in their underwear and, this is like all these worked shoots kind of thing, then do that. And that's not to say that you can't have cartoony stuff in the margins of that, but there's no clear narrative tone to the WWE, in my respectful opinion. So anyway, I go to the Big Show's official Instagram. And this is a blue-checked, verified Instagram. I'm going to actually get it up on my phone right now. I had it up on my phone, and my phone went down. So, Big Show. It's the Big Show. Incidentally, I love Chris Jericho and Big Show as tag team champs. All right, here we go. Right here. Big Show, blue-checked, Paul White. That's the real name of the Big Show. I am Paul, the Great White. This David Excel thing is going to be important. Because this Russian hacker sent me to a PayPal from a guy named David Excel. I'm not saying that guy that I just showed you on Instagram is that David Excel, but this is how I knew this was bullshit. Again, pardon my language. So right here on Big Show's official Instagram, we see a picture of his family sitcom on Netflix right there. So I, being a fan of family sitcoms, comment. It's not a snarky comment. It's a endearing comment from a fan. Here's me. Can this sitcom please have segments where you break things out of anger, then they go back to normal in the next scene? Also, please use the Family Matters font for the title. I'm being serious. I want this to happen. And that's, what I write. And I'm thinking it's like, okay, I left a silly comment. I do that all the time on celebrity, social media. I think nothing's going to come of it. And so I get this response, and I know the Big Show is a funny guy because I used to watch him on like Conan O'Brien or things like that. And he said, in response, okay, tell me about it. And I was like, okay, I'll tell you about it. Because if the Big Show is, like, giving me the time of day, a childhood superhero of mine that I have massive respect and admiration for, I'm going to go for it. So I was like, okay, so I was like, the Big Show, the giant, childhood hero, fifth member of the NWO, spiritual son of Andre, rival of my favorite wrestler, Hulk Hogan. So I started giving the scenario here. It's like, okay, let's say that an Urkel-like character comes over and won't leave, so you lose it and break the kitchen counter in half while your family watches bug-eyed. Or you throw someone through a wall, then moments later it's like nothing happened. The show should also have straight-up 80s vocal opening and closing credits with saxophones. Like, full-on embrace the fact that you have wrestler superpowers and are the main character of an 80s formula sitcom. Also, please have your old buddies from the Dungeon of Doom stop by and from a garage band. One of the guys can teleport to the corner store for ice. Again, I say this unironically. You're very, very awesome. So then I get this response, and he's like, wow, nice write-up. Let me see. Message me at realbigshow98@gmail.com on Hangout. I will reply you and come with many ideas. Thanks. And then he gives the little NWO, click sign there. So there it is. Yeah. Okay. So I take him up on this offer, obviously, because I'm like, okay, what's the worst that can happen? So. I mean, I'm the kind of guy that'll let a Jehovah's Witness in my door because I like talking to people. So, I send him an email, and he, what I do in this email is I basically lay out the premise for what I would like for his show. I'm going to try to pull the email up here because I have several emails that I want to show you here. So I'm going to read you the whole scenario that I sent him because I stayed up late one night because I'm always up late after my family goes to bed, and because I just want to have some free time to play video games and just watch YouTube videos and process things. I love my family more than anything, but it's just nice to have some alone time too because I grew up as an only child. So I like spent this one night like just re-examining 80s sitcoms and 80s sitcom styles that I like, and thinking of funny scenarios that like wildly would entertain myself. So here we go. Hey, Big Show / Giant. This is Noel from Instagram. I'm messaging due to your generous Instagram request. I'm not sure what's happening. It's not every day one of your childhood superheroes wants to hear your thoughts on sitcoms, but it's awesome nonetheless. As you could probably tell from my comment, I enjoy the over-the-top nature of pro wrestling and the style of 80s family sitcoms. I find that humor and excitement comes when two genres that don't normally go together mix. I seriously enjoyed the Dungeon of Doom when it was going on in WCW because it was an insane comic book filled with teleporting monster trucks and busting through cave walls like the Kool-Aid Man. 1980s sitcoms also are great due to their harmony, catchy music, and absurd situations. They give the viewers something they can aspire to and relax to. Combining pro wrestling and TJF sitcoms would be exciting, bizarre, and entertaining. This happened a bit on Boy Meets World with Vader. For whatever it's worth, I enjoy absurd, over-the-top things that hit on the ideals and aspirations of people. When I saw commercials for your show, I thought of Just the 10 of Us. That's a Growing Pains spinoff. The show had a chubby gym teacher dad with a crazy family full of women within that formula of a gruff, goofy dad as the family patriarch. So I'm going to start listing some crazy things I find fun. And here we go. And I just thought, I'm just going to get like any wrestler I can think of to like play sitcom characters. So here we go. Santino Marella, or Disco Inferno, is a noisy, wacky neighbor who looks up to you to the point where there's a weird, funny man crush worship component. He can do things like come in the dining room window in the middle of dinner, lurk in the bushes, pop out, and start talking as you leave the house. He can also ruin Thanksgiving dinner by sneezing on the turkey during grace, then trying to wash it off in the bathroom sink, which leads to it falling in the toilet, which he panics and flushes, resulting in the house starting to flood, causing you to get comedically angry as you feel water pool around your ankles. You could also do something funny like Santino / Disco could be walking to your house with a sideways baseball cap and the bill gets shot off. The camera then shows you on the front porch with a rifle. Then he happily waves to you and starts coming over while you scramble back inside and lock the door. Another idea could be the NWO is a biker gang and they need you to help them win an Olympic can against a preppy rival biker gang. The logo of the show should also have a cartoon fist for the O in NWO. As stated earlier, the Dungeon of Doom could be your middle-aged buddies who have a garage band and still have their superpowers. Kevin Sullivan and Hulk Hogan can have a Newman Jerry Seinfeld style relationship where they squint at each other in annoyance but ultimately interact as friends. Here are some stylistic ideas for opening and closing credits, and then I gave him like YouTube links for various Miller Boyette sitcoms right here, and then I thank him again for his time and listening to my ramblings. And then he responds that he really likes the write-up, that I have a lot of ideas. He asks me where I'm from, and I tell him. And not like I don't give him my social security number, but I tell him my general, like where I'm from and my age. And then he invites me to join him on Google Hangouts. And that's where our conversation veers more toward, him asking me just general stuff about what I like about wrestling and, what's my favorite WrestleMania, and I tell him 9 and 18 because I'm a huge Hulk Hogan fan. And then we start talking about like Yokozuna and how Yokozuna, I wish he had joined the NWO and teamed with the Giant because I thought they would have been a cool monster tag team. He asked me who my WWE crush is, and I say Mandy Rose and Sunny because come on, come on. So, happily married, but come on. So anyway, so then he starts asking me about my fitness. And so I tell him, I said I did, before the quarantine, I would go to the gym for jiu-jitsu and boxing 2 hours, 3 times a week. And since quarantine, I'd been doing, both workouts in Brazil and shadow boxing for 20 to 40 minutes, 5 times a week. And so I had said something about how I didn't like the creative in WWE, and he had said something like, "Oh, well, people are working very hard there," and I'm like, "Oh no, I got massive respect for the business." And I don't like the term the business, oh, it's like some kind of mystical thing. It's like, no, you got people who give their lives to this thing, like literally. Like they're on the road constantly. They're not seeing their families. They're stuntmen, they're actors, they're fighters, they're athletes. I mean, people look down on pro wrestling, and it's like they have no idea. I have no idea because I don't do it. But like I can see the amount that it controls your life, and that people willingly and happily give themselves to that. And I have a lot of respect for that passion, and it has given me countless hours of joy to watch. So I have massive respect for the genre and the people involved in it. Then he starts kind of talking to me about like, well, what if I offered you a job in the WWE? And I'm thinking to myself, like, this is getting a little too good to be true here. But I'm kind of thinking, like, if there's a small percentage that this is true, I don't want to, like, blow it, But, and incidentally, this hangout he gave me, just so you all know for verification, it's a real Big Show. I don't know if this is Big Show's actual hangout, but this is the thing that this Russian dude was, using. And I'll tell you why I know he's Russian in a second. Or someone tied to the former Soviet bloc. I don't know. Spasiba. Anyway, so he starts telling me, like, what if I offered you work? And I was like, well, I'd want to do a video chat with you to make sure 1,000% that you're the real Big Show and that I could work remotely. Because I'm thinking, like, he wants me to just do, like, creative ideas or something like that. And I just... Like, I'm in a house. I'm still paying a mortgage. I've got a 3-year-old. I don't want to leave. I like where I'm at. But at the same time, if one of your childhood heroes offers you a job in the WWE, you're not gonna like look into it. Like that would be stupid not to do. So then he's like, well, what are you alluding to, fake? And I said, well, hey, there's a lot of fake wrestling accounts, and I'm just kind of paraphrasing this stuff here. He's like, oh, yeah, I hear you. There's a lot of fake accounts. He's like, so then, like, things kind of, like, I don't know, we just responded a couple more texts. This was, like, weird. It was, like, this was, like, when I was dating, Like, waiting, like, just seeing, like, oh, pick up my phone, like, oh, a text came in. It's, like, except from a pretty girl, this is coming from, like, a 500-pound bald man, so... which is not as, enjoyable, despite the fact that, the Big Show in real life is, like, I would love to, like, just chill with the Big Show. Like, he's, again, like, he's the Giant, man. He was in the NWO. He was just, like, Big Show was always a heavyweight contender. He could hang with anyone at any time, and he's just cool. So, he tells me that I put in a few words for you. I'm like, few words with who? And he's like, with WWE. And I was like, wait, what? And then he starts telling me, like, he wants me to train at the Performance Center. And he knew that the Performance Center was in Florida, but then he, like, said something like, because of your athletic training, you can skip Tough Enough. And I was like, is Tough Enough even still going on? Because, like, I remember, like, Tough Enough kind of came back. And in all honesty, like, I haven't watched WWE in a while. Like, I watch AEW religiously. I like WWE to the point where, like, I'll watch major pay-per-views, but I don't watch it weekly. The only thing I watch weekly is, like, AEW TNA reruns and then just, like, old wrestling clips on YouTube. Like, that's what I watch. And then I listen to, like, wrestler podcasts tell their fishing stories, So this is where stuff starts getting, like, really crazy red flag here. So he starts telling me that there is a sign-up fee, which isn't totally unheard of, but at the same time, it's like, okay, now this person that I'm not sure is the Big Show is telling me to give him money. So, like, automatically I'm like, flags are going off here. But I'm letting this play out because, like, I'm nice. I like to talk to people. And if there's a small chance that this is real, I just kind of want to see where it's going. And so I'm like, okay, so this guy, so he sends me this email. And he said, email this place. So the email he sent me said, I'm going to get it up on my computer here. This is important here. Registration, sign up. Hang on a second. I'm going to try to get the actual address here. Sign up registration at gmail.com is what he sent me here. So after I got this, I looked up the WWE Performance Center, and it's kind of like you submit an application and they'll call you kind of thing, and you do it all online. But he said to, but like, I'm thinking to myself, like, well, maybe if this is the big show, maybe he's got an in and he's just kind of, sending me to this person here. So I sent this like big email, like very respectfully, like, hey, I'm not sure if this person I'm talking to is the big show, but this is the situation. And I get this response back, like, no, that's the big show. And then at the same time, I'm thinking to myself, like, wow, this is insane. And then I'm thinking to myself, he gave me this email, so he would probably, if this is a scam, he would be in control of said email. But, who knows? So then it's like, okay, so then I get a response back from the big show, like, so, hey, how's it going? And it's like, yeah, I just exchanged a couple emails with the place you sent me. I'm like, it doesn't say anything online about there being a fee. And he's like, oh no, this is an application fee. And I was like, okay. And so in this email, he's like, just tell the email that you want to sign up, because he's like, I don't want you to miss the window. I'm like, what window? Like, I don't know. Like, so this is like, you can already tell this is like turned to bullshit. But I said to myself, like, I want to see what they actually send me. So I just kind of kept playing along with it. And so they sent me to this. Hang on. Eventually, they gave me a PayPal account, and right there, it was like game over as far as any thought in my mind that this was not a scam. Let me tell you the thread of emails. So I'm like, wow, I'm a bit at loss for words. Thanks for your response, and that's me. And then this registration sign up. Well, and this is what was also very telling. The way that this person typed was similar to the way that the Big Show typed. So, well, you just have to get a form for registration so you could sign up. I'm like, awesome. Where do I find the form? Are they online? And then they get like, you are going to get them here. It's $200. You get it, sign up, then you registered. And like they're using like like it's slang text writing here. So I just thought that was, and my wife thought that was like a big red flag too. I'm like, okay, so where do you pay? And then I get, you pay through PayPal. And then I'm like, okay, I'd like to try for a summer tryout. He's like, okay, and when do you want to sign? And I'm like, over the summer, late July, early August if possible. And then they're like, okay, if you want to resume by then, but registrations will be ending soon because we are out of form. It will be best if you have your registration form now and your name recorded as registered so you can resume when you want to. I'm like, okay, sounds good. Let's start the process. It's like, okay, I should send you the PayPal account now so you can send it there. And I'm like, sure. And then this registration sign up, like, okay, hold on a second. I will send you an account where you will send it, so I will get it and send you the form. Like this were like right away, like the English is broken and weird. And this is what was interesting. I got David Excel 61 at yandex.com. Send it here and send as a friend. When you do, snap it and send it showing successful to show it went well. Then we go to the next step to get the form. And that's when I'm like, okay, this is bullshit. So I didn't send anything after that, and I get this response like, "Are you done?" Because like I didn't like kind of do anything after that, and then the Big Show texts me, and he's like, "Hey, how's it going?" And I was like, "Oh, it's going really well. I'm just thinking about it, because that is before I commit." And then he's like trying to like give me like a pep talk here, and hang on, I'm gonna get this up here. I'm sorry if this video is going to go long, but I just want to. Okay, so this is the sequence of events here. Okay, Big Show. How has it gone? And I'm like, this guy just sent me a PayPal. Okay, so you were doing it already, right? And I'm like, I'm just thinking things over before I commit. He's like, okay, man, just trust me on this. I promise you will thank me for this later on. Just you want to get in before the registration's over. I'm like, I hear you. Thanks for all your help. He's like, yeah, you're welcome. If you're done, if you're done with it, let me know. And I suggest you shouldn't waste time on this. It's your time now. And then he like messages me at like 6 a.m. He's like, hey man. And so this is what I respond with. Hey, I sent the 200, but it wasn't through the PayPal you sent. It was to Hulk Hogan himself. And I did it after I was promised the key to immortality. And do you know, he sent me this key overnight, no less. The Thunder Mixer. I was teleported through a jungle and was face to face with the Eternal Being. And do you know what I saw when I looked in his eyes? The Thunder Mixer. Food tastes better, air is cleaner, and in the bedroom, ooh yeah. I would never have gained this magic key without you. My time is now. And then I put in parentheses John Cena music. And so he's like, hey, I don't get you. You paid already? Question mark, question mark, question mark. And so then I like start going through this big thing like as Hulk Hogan. I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna pretend to be Hulk Hogan now. And so here's the Hulk Hogan text and character. He's like, yeah, he paid already, brother. He sent the $200, dude. And once the cash rolled in, brother, I bought the ticket to the Judd Nelson talk show late night on NBC to see my brother of the road, the Macho Man. Ooh, yeah. Me and the NWO are going to take care of all the family business with the keys to eternity. The Hulk Hogan Thunder Mixer sword by my side. We will destroy everything in our path, brother. And then I sent him a picture of Hulk Hogan on Judd Nelson's short-lived NBC talk show with Hulk Hogan wielding his sword as the dark side of Hulkamania. And then he's like, I don't get what this has to do with registering for your tryout. You're talking something else? I asked if you registered and you calling Hulk Hogan? What's this? So then I sent him a picture of Rocky punching Drago. And then he's like, what are you telling me? And I'm like, in Soviet Russia, Big Show chokeslam himself. Are you registering or not? He says. So I sent him a picture of Gorbachev and Zangief dancing. He's like, what? And then, like, later, like 2 hours, he's like, okay, I'll take that as a no. And so this is how, another thing, like, this Yandex.com, like, once I saw David XL61 at Yandex.com, I looked up, like, what is Yandex? And if you go to Wikipedia, it's like Yandex is a Russian multinational corporation specializing in internet products and services, including transportation, research, and information. So there it is. So there's my story of how the Big Show nearly recruited me to join the WWE Performance Center in Kolyma, Siberia. And, I would have gotten a cool Russian hat, but I wouldn't have, actually joined the WWE. And I'm actually kind of really relieved that this is a scam because I don't want to have to live a pro wrestler lifestyle away from my son, even if it's just the idea of having to consider, I'm like, I like my home. I like dealing with, bratty kids sometimes is got its pros and cons, but I love my students. So until next time, guys, my name is Noel. You take care, and buyer beware. I wanted to make this video because there's not a lot of information about these kind of scams that can go on. So, if you are an aspiring pro wrestler, just watch out for this kind of thing, and I will see you in the very near future. Bye-bye.